Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of Selling Seven Figures. It's a monthly mini-series designed to help distributors, salespeople crush their goals. I'm going to be your not-so-modest moderator, Kevin Mullaney. So for many salespeople, selling seven figures is a goal they strive for. Some seem to hit that goal effortlessly, while others work tirelessly and somehow still fall short. We've hand-selected 4 distributors from the promotional products industry who have hit this goal over the course of the next 8 months. They'll be sharing tactics to help you hit this goal as well. We'll be discussing topics from goal setting to advanced sales strategies to personal branding and networking, along with everything in between. Today's episode, our panelists will introduce themselves and share their super sales powers with you. So let's get started. We're going to jump in. We're going to do a brief introduction, who you are, where you work, and how you got into the industry. So we'll start first with Mandy Clay from Walker Clay Promotions.
Hey, I'm Amanda Clay. I'm now the president of Walker Clay. So I got started in this industry because I was born in. So my great-grandfather worked for Brown and Bigelow. My grandfather started Walker Clay. I had the pleasure of working with my dad for many years. He did retire. And now I co-own the company with my sister, Heather. And we just recently finished our women-owned certification, which, as you know, is a lot of paperwork. So we're super excited about that.
Awesome, Mandy. Nanette Gray with Lemonade Creative Marketing.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Nanette Gray, the Chief Lemonade Maker at Lemonade Creative Marketing. We're a marketing, branding, promotional agency located down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've been in the industry for almost 14 years. And the way that I got into it is I was in corporate in pharmaceuticals, and my pharmaceutical company laid off my specialty division. And once I was laid off, it's like, do you go and get another good job, or do you finally start the marketing company you've always wanted? And so that's when I decided to turn the lemons of losing my pharmaceutical job into lemonade. And so now we're going almost 14 years strong.
Love that we have the lemonade stand active with us for selling seven figures.
Yeah.
Katie Kaler with American Solutions for Business. You're up next.
Hey everyone, I've been with ASB and in the industry for 4 years. So I, like Amanda, was actually born into it. But after I got my marketing degree, I was with Macy's for 10 years. When I was looking for a career shift, it sort of started as a joke with my dad of maybe you should join American, maybe you should get into this business. And I said, what do you do? So fast forward March 16th, 2020, on the day we went into lockdowns in the pandemic, I started with American.
I'll tell you what, if you can sell in a pandemic and you're still here, you're impressive. But if you can start selling in a pandemic in this industry, even better. So welcome, Katie. And finally, rounding out our group, it's David Keneally with brand Hero and Geiger.
Hi there, David Keneally. I got my my professional start working in HPG type companies like Dunkin' Donuts, Frito-Lay, and Hasbro. I've been selling now for Geiger for about 17 years now, and there's no looking back.
I love it. Well, awesome. Well, we're going to kick this off, get a little bit to know all of you. We've got a couple different options here, so we're going to keep it really simple. Would your 12-year-old self think you are cool? Yes or no? Simple yes or no question going around the board. We're going to start with Mandy.
Yes.
David.
No.
Katie.
Yes, but only because of my dog.
And Nanette.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. My 12-year-old self would always wanted to be a comedian. So I would say this is the best thing we can do and actually get paid for it. So I think my 12-year-old self would be pretty happy as well. So, in this industry, or really any sales industry, we all kind of have our natural skill set. We all have our natural attributes. You might be a cold call queen. You might be a sales doctor, and the only remedy that you have is just natural referrals. Or you might be the professor of prospecting. So today we're going to talk about what makes these 4 super sellers super successful and what their super sales power is. And then more importantly, how they drive and power their sales by using this core characteristic. So if it's okay with you, David, when we talked about, kind of sales and selling sales books and sharpening the saw, you actually had an interesting response that you don't necessarily typically define yourself as a core true salesperson. So David, what's your super sales power? And mind elaborating a little bit about how you kind of view yourself as a partner?
Gotcha. Well, at Geiger, there's about 400 to 450 sales partner, and I joke by saying I'm the worst salesperson that they have. I don't sell. I don't subscribe and read all those sales books and do all those trial closings and stuff like that. My secret superpower, I think, is networking and definitely selling with passion. I absolutely love what I do, and I'm not shy in talking to my clients about my passion for the business and a passion for promo. And a lot of times clients want to go give the project to people that truly love what they do and will make sure that project is very successful. So selling with passion.
Selling with passion, super important. I feel like people can feel it. And when you're passionate about a product, it's going to get them excited, specifically in the promotional products industry. I think it adds a ton of value. So David, I appreciate your transparency and your honesty. And I bet you there's a lot of colleagues over at Geiger who disagree that you're a pretty good salesman too. All right, Nanette, we're going to come over to you. Checking in on the lemonade stand. What exactly would you say your superpower is and how you leverage it to have so much success?
I think it's very similar to David's. I'm relationship driven and do a lot of networking. And so with the relationships, people buy from people that they know, they like, and they trust. And I think one of my superpowers is they always perceive me as being genuine and authentic. And that helps in terms of the process of allowing them to be able to trust. And so over the years, especially prior to starting the business, being in pharmaceuticals, it's a very relationship oriented type of sales. You get to know your physicians and you get to know their needs. And so sort of like David was saying, it's not like we're selling product. We're basically solutions providers, looking to see whatever those needs are and how we could best fulfill them. And so I think that's one of the things that has helped me be successful is from a relationship perspective, being very genuine and authentic.
That's awesome. And not to call out our girl Nanette here, but she's fighting through some sickness and she still sounds great, looks great. So thanks for joining us on another weather day.
Thank you.
All right, Katie, coming over to you. American Solutions for Business. Again, day one in a pandemic. You've got to have a cape on every time you've been doing this. So tell us a little bit about what makes your superpower special.
Thanks, Kevin. I really feel that I've been able to become an extension of my clients' marketing teams. So I studied marketing in school. I have a corporate background. I understand where they're coming from. And similar to what David and Annette have said, I think that allows me to be a true partner for them. We've had so many conversations where, they're talking about their sales teams, not even considering that that's actually my role as being in sales, because I just feel like an extension of their marketing team. So I think that really allows me to provide solutions, build trust. And the biggest compliment has been when I've been at an event and some of their team comes up to me and doesn't even realize that we're a vendor, that we're not actually part of their team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, again, anytime you consider yourself that partner adds so much credibility when you have the background that you do, Katie. So you're just trying to make things easier on them. So that's awesome that they're able to trust you in that regard. All right, Mandy Clay, fresh haircut, looking good as well. So go ahead. Tell us what you got, Mandy.
Well, I mean, I echo a lot of the things that everyone else has shared, but I think the other thing is like product knowledge. I really try to get out to trade shows, touch, feel items so that I can fully explain exactly what it is, the features, and feel confident that I'm getting a good product into their hands. I also think people buy from people they know, like, and trust. That also extends to our vendor partners. So those strong vendor partnerships really help me, when I need a project to move up the timeline. I think I heard you speak once, Kevin, and you called a vendor 37 times, I think every day, maybe at a wedding, to make sure that your order was going to ship on time. But having those phone numbers that you can make things happen if something is to go awry, I think that helps, like that peace of mind that your clients have with you. So I think that's it. And then just speed to answer my clients. Like, I don't make them wait 48 hours to respond to them. Like, I don't like to wait more than 5 minutes. So trying to create that response to my clients, they're expecting, at least I've responded to saying like, hey, I'm working on it, I'll have it to you tomorrow, or whatever that is, because that's what I expect from like my vendor partners.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think just the responsive list, letting someone know that you're working on something, and then keeping them up to date. No one wants to be in sales purgatory, specifically with what you all do on a daily basis, where people are waiting on these firm delivery dates. They've got large events, and they're waiting on deliveries. And not hearing back from them can make them feel like, okay, their head starts spinning into different areas of where this item could be. And I'm sure we've all got a ton of stories about where things have been shipped when they were not supposed to. But I'm going to spin it around one more time, and then we're going to wrap things up. But I read recently something that talent is something that you're born with, and skill is something that you develop. So I'm going to start with Mandy, and then we're going to spin it around. But Mandy, what have you done to help develop the skill that you naturally have? Or is this something that you feel like you're constantly refining, constantly adjusting, and changing it to the market and your clients' trends?
I feel like I'm authentically myself all the time. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. So I think that, I'm going to be honest, like with both my clients and like my vendors. If something's not going to happen, I can't get it there in time, I'm not going to make it up and be like crossing my fingers, waiting on the weekend. Like, oh man, I hope this ships. Like, I'm going to say like, hey, I don't think I can make this happen for you. And like, here's what I think we should do, or we should have a contingency plan, but I'm not going to like beat around the bush. I'm very direct. So I think like that's really, it's either a blessing or a curse when you deal with me per se, but I don't really change who I am or listen to things to change. But I think I've talked to you many times. I've talked to David, like, hey, what's going on? Like, what are you seeing happening? So I do reach out to other people to kind of see like what's changing in the environment, but I'm still going to be like sell my way, not change who I am per se.
Yeah, I think just being authentic allows your true self to just naturally shine. And since you're already awesome and you're already on the Selling Seven Figure podcast, you're in a good shape. So, Katie, what would you say? Obviously, you have the skill set, you have the degree in your experience, right? So you're literally certified to do what you do. What are you doing to work on your skill, or maybe stack on your skill set that you currently have?
Sure. I love staying up with industry training, whether that be product training or some of the, MAS certifications and things like that. I think that just continues to add credibility, and helps me stay on top of what's fresh and what's new and what's happening so that I can relay that to my clients.
Awesome. Nanette, is it just a natural talent that you have every day? You wake up less and you get after it, or are we working on it on a daily basis?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, ever since I was a kindergartner, I was selling. So, it's something that I love in terms of helping people get the things that they need, and coming up with those solutions. But I'm a big proponent of continuing education. As we talked about a little earlier, I'll be traveling to Dartmouth for as an alumni for a program that I've gone through there. But I also do other programs outside of the industry to help from a business savvy perspective, business acumen, and then also other, I guess what you would call them, industries that relate. Like this year, I went to CES because, as Katie mentioned, I love being up on the trends and what's coming, what's new, and just being as educated as I can, not only on the product, professional development, and personal development as well.
All right. Awesome, Nanette. You've definitely given us a topic for our next podcast of when would you start selling? Because I'm interested to see whether it was Girl Scout cookies or if you were hustling fruit roll-ups and Dunkaroos at the cafeteria in kindergarten. So write that down. We'll revisit that later.
Yes.
All right, David. Is it a skill? Is it something we're working on a daily basis, or is it just that God-given talent?
It's a little bit of both, and I have two answers here for you. One is kind of the emotional intelligence, those soft skills, those social skills that I grew up with that my mother instilled in me. And I think those have paid off in tenfold in my business career. So I like to thank her for that, but that helps. And then just being an expert in putting in those 10,000 hours. When I started Brand Hero, I left corporate. I was making a great salary, great bonus, and I went 100% commission. And I had 3 small kids and a wife and a mortgage. And my wife looked at me and said, "Really?" So I couldn't let my family down. So I put in the hours, and I worked till 2 a.m. every night, just about, weekends too, for 2 years. And that's the type of dedication. I made myself an expert on product in the industry. And, I outworked my much smarter competition to get where I am.
I love it. Thanks so much, everyone. And again, I think it's our whys that are behind the success, if that's fair to say. Like David said, when your back is up against the wall, Nanette, when your job's eliminated, right? What are you going to do, right? No one's gonna pick up the phone to the complaint corner. I'll tell you, I'm not picking up that call. But if you come in with resolutions, you come in with solutions, very much the same mentality that you all are using in your daily sales. Again, that's why you guys are on the 7-Figure Podcast. So we're excited to keep this going. Keep tuning in, keep following us, and we're excited to have you back. And we'll be in touch soon. Thanks everyone for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you.